Virgo. So you're the first reading that I'm doing for March, and it's very early in the morning. And the second I started shuffling my hand, like my right arm is getting tired. So I feel like it's interesting because yesterday I got the message that healing is becoming an active process, not a reflective process, primarily. And there's something here about doing too much and needing to find that line in the sand where action meets reflection. Okay? Because if one's not feeding the other, I feel like, not that it's going to be burnout. I feel more so it's going to be like soulfully taxing. And Mercury, our ruler, does go retrograde this month. It's already in shadow in Pisces. And obviously Mercury doesn't fare super well in Pisces. But I do think that it being an immutable sign and being in our opposite sign, it does favor us more than other people, because Mercury in Pisces needs room to be whatever it's going to be. It needs a limitless arena to express itself in. And we have the Queen of Wands with the Page of Cups and Temperance. And they kind of flew out opposite. And this one flipped out first, but this card flew in that direction. So I was like, okay, it wants to be on that side. And they're looking at each other. Okay? And I feel like these are literally the two elements that are asking to be combined in the Temperance card. Okay? That powerful, intuitive, but strong and capable and independent energy, right? That spiritually driven, but extroverted and proud type of energy needs to be accompanied by a childlike softness, right? Because the Page of Cups, the Page of Cups wants purity, and they want things that resonate with the inner child. And I feel like we're all being called to do a different level of inner child work. Like, everyone in my life at present, including myself, is doing things that are taking them back either to a past life, to clear out that karma, or to a certain area of their childhood. Okay, like for myself, I've been watching cartoons that came out when I was like 4 years old, 5 years old. And it's really shown me how much is ingrained inside of us that we have no cognizant awareness of. Like, I had forgotten what all of the show's premise was about. And then I turn it on and I know every single episode. Every single one. So the healing and the moderation that needs to be achieved is to have this dynamic tenacity, right, about yourself, and to not put your courage or not put your pride on the back burner, but while simultaneously being willing to accept and extend a lighthearted, very innocent, youthful type of offer, right? Then over here we have the Four of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. I think a little bit, Virgo, you're getting bored with everything being about gaining wealth and everything being about work and status and keeping things, afloat. I don't think that you're having a difficult time doing this and achieving this Ten of Pentacles or tending to your family or whatever. Just like the mundane. And it's like sometimes when we master the Ten of Pentacles, when it's like easy for us to like get our money going, have our house in order and all that kind of stuff, we want more excitement. And that's why I feel like you're going to need to continue to focus on both. Okay? There may be a tendency, because you're so bored doing the same old monotonous things, that you're going to want to dive all the way into solely Page of Cups energy. But I feel like that'll eventually create some type of situation that you're not going to like. So with the Four of Cups here, I encourage you to be open also to inviting people into what you consider your family, or to get close to you as well, because the that's going to be the key to creating paced movement. And that's exactly what I said In the channeled message yesterday, I said that when the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within you work in tandem, playing to their strengths, it creates grounded, paced, intuitive motion forward. Okay, and that's the Chariot. All right, my dearest Virgos. So I knew that I wasn't ready to do your reading yesterday, or any readings, honestly. I can usually tell if the messages aren't like downloaded yet, if you will. And I knew there was a reason I picked this mug this morning. I've had this mug for like a decade now. And it says, whatever is good to know is difficult to learn. And going back to the theme of healing being active now and not reflective, I feel like it's important to remember that there are times that we sit in hermit mode, and there are times that the whole like analyzing and detaching and writing and meditating is all extremely imperative to what is to come. And then there's times where you have to like learn on the job. You know, the idea that our mind will be 100% clutter free and anxiety free or wound free prior to experiencing something that is going to trigger that wound for its final healing is unlikely. Meaning, there always is going to be a little bit of like mental baggage residue left when you meet a situation that is asking you to step into your highest power. There is huge, 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 huge higher heart chakra upgrades this month. The higher heart is the true bridge to the heart chakra and the throat chakra. And I believe that's where you ultimately speak your truth from when you're fully like, when your throat chakra and your heart chakra are fully opened. They meet in the center to your higher heart, where you can speak to unconditional love. You can speak in a manner of boundaries. You can love people at many different shades. And there becomes a new level of discernment. So this, first of all, I need to let you know, this reading is fucking beautiful. Okay? It's a beautiful reading. And the energy is a little bit overwhelming. I can feel it in my crown chakra big time. And I believe it was the August or the September reading when I'll have to look, and y'all can look, that I spoke about how sometimes readings don't come to pass and we don't understand why, and the timelines of like the 10 of Cups types manifestations. And I believe that was the same reading that I said that the equinox and the Virgo full moon, which was last week, are going to culminate, right? I was like, all of this is going to culminate when that comes, and we are on the brink, okay? I have dubbed March, because we're going into the equinox, I have dubbed this prophecy unfolding season. This is prophecy season, okay? And in order for a prophecy to unfold, in order to see things that have been foretold who knows how long ago to come into existence, we have to be willing, again, like I was saying in the beginning, be equal parts present and aware and active on what we're getting pushed to, as well as, you know, surrendered. Okay? That's a divine balance. The overall energy that we're being initiated into this month, Virgo, is our fave energy ever, woman holding a coin. All right? And she reminds me of the Queen of Wands, who didn't pop back up because she has her little black cat and she's regal as hell. And this is about, at the end of the day, knowing your worth without anybody available or there to mirror it, okay? You have to know and own your value and your worth and your status, okay? Without anybody telling you whether or not it's there, right? This is also about boundaries, the Seven of Wands being the overall energy, and knowing that you got it, okay? You want it, you got it. If we're talking about opportunities, if we're talking about suitors, if we're talking about money, if we're talking about potentials, you know, and options, all of that is at your disposal, Virgo. But it's going to be your job to decide who can measure up and what measures up. Okay, and that's going to be a fine-tuned balance, because I feel like there's going to be a couple situations this month. They're not going to be like triggering, like painful, but they're going to resonate a certain way in your physical body. They're going to resonate a certain way in your energetic body. And then after that initial impact, you're going to want to think through things or connect them to old dots to try to make a bridge. And that bridge could either harm you, take you to a place where you don't necessarily, you're correlating things that don't need to be correlated, or, you're going to say, I know that, miracles are not made in the mind. I know that miracles are made in the heart, and to feel through it. I feel like you're going to have to feel through this month big time, which was a huge lesson in 2018. I believe I said at the end of 2017 that if you don't feel through 2018, you're not going to make it. And it was to train you to get more aware of when an energy hits your body and your soul and when an energy hits your head, because it's just different. But we have the potential this month to put in the groundwork to solidify something that has been a long time in the making. Okay, because that's how I feel about the woman holding a coin. You have to know that you are the bag. You are the goal. You are the wish. You are the everything. So when you understand that you are the end goal, in general, when you are the one, when you are the key, you can move with that status. You can move with that attitude. You can move with that suredness that everything you've ever desired is yours. I feel like you need to know that. You need to know, Virgo, that you've arrived in the promised land energetically. Okay, energetically, you have opened the gates. Now, what you do at the threshold is your own business. Okay, and that's when it's up to you, and that's why it's equal parts listening and acting. What you're being asked to leave behind moving into March. We have the Four of Swords with the Four of Cups. On the Four of Cups, we have the rune Wealth. We already know this, Virgo, but money and having it all together and having a good life, it's no longer going to solve any lack you feel. And I feel like you know that. I don't think this is some type of surprise to you. But I feel like you've been kind of resistant to letting new, more emotionally provoking situations come into your life because you didn't want to be mentally distracted. I don't think you wanted to have to think about, what does this mean for me? How do I really feel? You know what I mean? It's like with work matters, with money matters, we may think about it a lot, or we may give it a lot of mental, real estate. But at the end of the day, it's not hurting us, and it doesn't have the ability to make us really question our worth, not on the level that emotional matters do, right? And that's what I feel like is ultimately going on here this month. You are going through things that are making you question your worth. But they're going to be things that are more emotional in nature. I don't really feel like any work situation or money situation is gonna make you question your worth. It could be, but we're talking about value down to your innermost self. Because the Four of Swords being asked to be released is saying there's nothing left to contemplate. I also feel like whatever healing, again, that you feel like you had to get done, you've done all you can in isolation. You've done all you can on your lonesome. And I feel like you're a lot more mentally, spiritually, and emotionally stable than you've been giving yourself credit for. And maybe it's because every time you've had, emotionally triggering or emotionally centered situations happen in your life, you've had to do a lot more in order to keep your agenda afloat, in order to keep things flowing in a manner that's productive for you. And I feel like there may be a fear of like, what would happen if you had it all? And that having it all theme came up in that reading that I was referencing earlier. So also, if you've been contemplating on how to start new income streams, okay, or bring in more money, or what you could, if you feel like money is your main block, I feel like you're finally going to get clarity on the direction in order to take that. But I also feel like this is talking about being open to more emotional wealth and the abundance of living a heart-centered, fulfilling life. Um, and if you have been lacking passion or satisfaction, or again, like emotional satisfaction in your work, I feel like that's going to become a focus that you can't derail or glaze over anymore either, okay? The door that's not open that was once closed. We have strength and we have temperance. And on temperance, we have the rune, why can't I think today? Prosperity. I have to tell you, Virgo, the energy I have in my heart chakra over this reading is like super intense. It's super intense. This is why I don't keep my face on camera while I do readings. Even my private clients know that. I do not like showing my face while I read because I get so many fucking downloads. Strength and temperance, I feel like, are both talking about very like two sides of the same coin, right? Both of them are talking about having to find balance and having to find the equal and the opposite to things in order to create collaboration, right? And to calibrate things. Because with the strength card, we're talking about taming the beast, right? I also feel like if you have lacked emotional satisfaction in sexual relationships, I feel like that is going to get harmonized. If you have always had to be aggressive in order to heal, or if you've had to take if you had to get really, really triggered in your past and go through something that was, again, very aggressive and a lot to handle in order to find healing, I feel like that is also coming into more of a calibrated energy. Because prosperity is on temperance, I also feel like, you have temperance here and the star, right? Two images with two vessels and liquid water. How we hold our emotions, what we do with them, where they flow, where they go, and where we empty them out. Ultimately, I feel like there also may be somebody coming into your life, or you may be identifying these people in your life at present, that one are challenging whether or not you have a boundary or whether or not you have a defense. Okay? Because they're different. And you may need to weed out some of those. You may have some of one and some of the other and whatever. Also, I feel like you're learning that it's possible to prosper, right? Again, in your emotional life, while also prospering in your financial life, in your physical life, in your business life. I also feel like you're identifying the people in your life who are equal parts very different than you and also very the same. And I feel like you're starting to see yourself in other people, and people are starting to see themselves in you in ways that you previously have not been able to witness. And primarily you're being seen. And I think that that's something that's very foreign to you, Virgo, when you start to see yourself, okay? Because in the Temperance card, the angel's eyes look closed. And in the Strength card, they almost look closed as well because she's looking down. They're both looking down, focusing on something. And I keep getting landslide playing in my head, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, and the landslide brought me down, okay? I have chills. That's another thing. Holy shit. I just feel like you need to know that you can have both, whatever it is. You have the skills and the stability to be able to have both. Because with the infinity symbol here in the universe that we live in, duality, right? And being able to master and live in duality is really bringing 5D, if you want to get into all that. Grounding 5D into the third dimension is really the key to ascension. The key to ascension is to ascend, get into all that energy, and then ground it down in the real world. Ground it down in your body. And I mean, it is Pisces season. the unknown, the oneness, and that's opposite us, Virgo, the third dimension, the physical earth. So I feel like you're having to put your healing to work this month as well. And you're going to be having your strength tested in the sense that can you start to experience new things? Can you start to experience things that kind of get you heated up? I feel as well, because this energy definitely can be sexual, 100%. This can be sexual energy that you want to share with somebody, that's very reciprocal with somebody. You're gonna have to, not let the tea kettle boil over. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to pour it out and kind of temper yourself, almost like I don't know a lot about this, but I know the term, and it just came to me, like edging, right? Some of y'all might know what edging is. And for those of you that do, that message is for you. Not saying that you need to literally practice edging, but I feel like it's that kind of energy where things are gonna get really hot, and then you're not going to be able to let them boil over. You're going to have to let them turn it back down to a simmer. Hot simmer. And you're going to have to find that middle balance that you can slowly creep up to a full rolling boil without all the water evaporating out or without things spilling over. Okay? In your current energy, as it relates to all of this, in your head, we have the Six of Swords with the rune healing. In your heart, we have the Star. In your foundation, we have an interesting little message. We have the Fool, accompanied by, it goes this way, the Six of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. Ooh, I just got chills even talking about that card. Ooh, Nelly. All right. So as I was saying before, healing mentally, getting rid of old stories, overcoming the mental blocks that have been put in our way, especially when it comes to believing in peace and believing in a story and in a mantra and in a life journey that isn't hard. You know what I mean? That takes time mentally. So I feel like there are going to be some mental elements that you're still healing from. This desire to think it all through, right? I feel like that's going to be a transition, and I feel like you also know you're in a transition time moving into the Chariot over here. I feel like you know that you're moving into also safer territory. So if you feel like, especially in the past, that your mind has been easily corrupted. When I say corrupted, I mean like if you keep the wrong company, it really infiltrates your mental space, or if you get involved with something that ultimately wasn't for your highest good, it takes a long taxing toll on your mental process, and it's like your life could be again fine, but you start to have all of these thoughts that are kind of consuming, right? I feel like you're moving through that, because again, woman holding a coin is all the physical abundance that you could ever need, all the security that you could ever need. And I just feel like, again, there's a certain status and stature that you have achieved. And I feel like to continue to tell yourself, like, well, I'm still healing, or I don't know what to think about this, or I don't know what to do about this. It's like selling yourself short. This is also like huge Aquarian energy here with the Star and the Fool here. So, and then obviously we have Leo, we have Sagittarius, Cancer. I don't really necessarily feel like the Empress is Aries, but anyways, this is also lessons I feel like you learned during Aquarius season, things that came to light during Aquarius season. With the Star in your heart space, something else that came through for me yesterday, and the real question here is, Virgo, is do you believe in fate? And do you believe in destiny? And do you believe that when they converge is when miracles happen? And this is what I meant about the unfolding prophecy. In your heart of hearts, Virgo, with the Star here, you know that the time that you're stepping into is going to require radical vulnerability, and it will be rewarded more generously than you could have ever imagined. With the Star here, I feel like this is about dreaming your wildest dreams. This is about not holding on to any preconceived notions with both vessels being poured out. You will still you can let go of every story, of every past life trauma, of everything, and still be renewed with the temperance here. Still, you will still prosper and have enough to give. I feel like that could be it too, of being afraid that you're giving to the wrong person or pouring yourself into something that will not return itself to you. But it absolutely will, 100%. Because destiny and fate are going to converge. And when destiny and fate converge, it's equal parts your own personal journey and what was laid out for you in advance, which is what is walking your truest path, right? I feel like what we're stepping into as well is not karmic per se in the way that people typically identify it, but is very much in alignment with our soul path and clearing ancestral karma. This also a little bit feels like healing bloodlines and clearing bloodlines and getting to your true, like, because okay, we could have obviously incarnated as several different sexes, several different races and ethnicities all across time. But we're in this body with this ancestral line at this time for a reason. So when I say that you're clearing ancestral karma and lineage, I mean based on the body that you're in right now. And in your foundation with the Fool, now more than ever is an important time to be in a surrendered state and being willing to take risks. In your mind, at some points, will try to tell you that you have not healed from something, or that you're going into a territory that is going to remind you of an old situation. But your heart and your feet and your root chakra and all that kind of stuff, the rest of your body is ready. Like your body is ready. Your soul is ready. Your mind may not be ready there yet, but oh well, you can do without it. Honestly, truly. The Fool being further clarified by the Six of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles is really saying, again, that you can have it all. And it doesn't mean that there's somebody next to you right now that's going to build a family with you. And it doesn't mean necessarily right now that you have launched that new business or that that you've laid out your whole plan. But it is inevitable that if you're willing to ride the waves that's coming in, if you're willing to heed Spirit's call every time you get a little indicator to start fresh, right? Because I feel like what you're going to be asked to start fresh with is preconceived notions. And you will be successful in creating that family dynamic, creating that financial stability, creating that financial legacy, right? The kind of money that will begin to pay out for years to come. Okay, this can also be investments, right? Successfully investing in people or in situations that are going to bring joint financial ventures as well. You may be getting your money mixed in with other people's money in order to, right, secure a bigger bag. But it's going to require that you leave the past in the past mentally, and that when it comes up, you don't let it hamper, okay, your progress. Spirit's advice for you is the Nine of Pentacles and the Empress. And on the Empress, we have the rune Wisdom. You are smart enough to know that anything that you touch is gold, and that anything that you want is yours. So it's not a matter of whether or not you can have something. It's a matter of whether or not something is worthy of you. Okay, and you need to remember that. You are the prize, Virgo. You are the jackpot. Whether this is people making you business presentations, whether this is people making you love offers, whether this is people trying to be your friend, whether this is people wanting some of your time, you are the prize. And you don't need anybody's money, connections, love, attention to make shit happen. That's not to say that you should turn everyone away that tries to offer you something. No, because there is, Knight of Cups, there is stuff that is coming in. There absolutely is stuff that is coming in. But, you may have the desire to resist it. Okay, with the Five of Cups, or the Five of Wands here. You also may have people fighting over you. TBH. Or you might be, you might be like, listen, I'm the Queen of Wands. Like, I know that I'm desirable. Everyone wants a piece of me. But the real question is, do I want a piece of you? You know what I'm saying? Because the Empress is a receiver. Okay? And you've learned, Virgo, with the rune wisdom here, you've learned over time, over all this time you've spent building your own wealth, and all this time that you spent making yourself look good, manicuring yourself, keeping yourself looking opulent, right? That was my word for the year, opulent. That you know you innately are worthy of things. So you kind of like, especially if you're getting job offers or people are asking you of things or romantic offers, I feel like people need to prove themselves to you, Virgo. And I'm not saying you're going to put them through hoops, like make them jump through hoops. And I know that you know that. However, they kind of do have to. Okay. I don't see that you're going to get like antsy and settle on anything. Not at all. But I just do need to warn you that you're going to have to, because you are very empathetic and kind, make anybody that wants a piece of your life, that wants a piece of your success, that wants a seat at your table, make them jump through hoops. Make them jump through hoops. Oh my gosh, Akashic Records. Okay. Which is all about past life energy. Yeah, what I say about prophecies coming to pass, Four of Swords, you might have something that you had seen in meditation. Yeah, you may have something that you'd seen in meditation, or you'd gotten in a reading, or you've seen in a past life for yourself, that you had a feeling was getting healed or was about to come up to be healed. And this is also all about, and this is all in alignment with what we have up here. This is going to show you, again, that whether you're working in tandem with people, whether you're coupling yourself off, whether you whatever it is that you want to achieve, okay, you can absolutely be committed and free. You can be independent and, like, quote, locked down. You can be dynamic. Like, I feel like Virgo's tapping into a level of their immutable energy that they didn't previously have access to. The Magician and the Sun here are saying that it's going to be 120% clear to you how you're at your happiest when you get to use all of your skills and when you get to use all of yourself. So also, if someone is making you a romantic offer, you need to know that they need to be willing to accept all of you. So don't compartmentalize yourself, Virgo. I know y'all like to do that. I like to do that. Don't show them all of you, because the person that's for you will absolutely love every single aspect of you. Okay. And going into April, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Chariot, and on the Chariot we have joy. And you are moving, again, at a steady, grounded, intuitive pace forward to something very real. I just told my Capricorn friend the other day, she was talking about how things don't always manifest the way that we think they're going to and all of that jazz. And I said, well, think about it. The things that have the most longevity and the most staying power and that are the most stable take the longest to manifest, because that just shows how secure they are. So if there's things that you've seen crop up in a short period of time, or there's something that you feel like that was prophesized or that came to you or you thought you'd have a long time ago and you gave up on it, and then between giving up on it and now you kind of just surrendered to it and put it out of your mind, which is really what surrender is. Surrender is kind of like giving up, but you don't think it can't happen. You also just don't think it can happen. It's just neutral. You don't think about it. That's when things materialize. Okay? And with the Chariot here, I know you're not in a rush, Virgo, and that's the beauty of it all. I think that you're on a journey right now where you understand that you're never going to run out of opportunities. You're never going to run out of options, that you have everything that you can ever ask for, and that everything else coming into your life right now has to be a bonus and has to aid to your happiness and has to make your life easier. Okay, so everything that you're trying to achieve right now is only going to add to your status, add to your success. add to your happiness or add to your overall plan. Okay, excuse me. Everything else, you're like not even interested in it. And you're not gonna have to like worry about taking the wrong offer or any of that stuff. None of that. Okay? It's all gonna happen on its own. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles clarified by the Ten of Pentacles. Okay? This is huge. This is huge. And again, I also feel like you're moving your ancestral karma forward. I feel like you're breaking chains. Yeah, Page of Swords. Listen intently to the signs the universe is giving you, because you're going to be able to move forward in a way that is like brings you more happiness and bliss than you could have ever asked for. Holy crap. Yeah, we just got the Lovers, the Ten of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. You're at a pivotal crossroads, Virgo, that is giving you the option to step into an extremely pure, supportive, I don't even want to call it romantic, not that it can't be romantic, but the love that is available to you going into April. Okay, I don't know why April 12th seems like a big day. I don't know what's going on astrologically on April 12th. The love that's available to you post equinox is going to be like that love that you believed in at 4 or 5 years old. That by 7 years old you had put out of your mind was possible, that you had kept it to yourself. That perfect dream life, that little girl's biggest dream, whatever that is, whatever that soul yearning is, that has always lived in your unconscious, and it's been a long time since you let it surface. That level of satisfaction and love is coming to fruition. Doesn't necessarily mean it's romantic love. Definitely could include it. Okay, it absolutely could include it. But it's a innocent type of love. Like, remember when we made friends as kids? It was just so loving. Like, you could like love a guy friend and it wasn't up for debate. You know what I'm saying? When you were 5, like it wasn't like, oh, is that your boyfriend? You know, that kind of stuff. It's that type of love and support. I have been talking way too long. I hope everyone enjoys this month. And of course, if you are interested in the mid-month readings, you can look in the description box for that, okay? Love you all. Peace.